All right, boys and girls, here we are. This is chapter 7, lesson 2, and our essential question is still, how are patterns used in mathematics? And the focus on this lesson, the last lesson was non-numeric patterns, and this is numeric patterns, okay? Which is on page 419. All right? So we have a couple other vocabulary words. So we talked about non-numeric patterns, and we talked about patterns, okay? So everyone looking at the top of page 419, it says, numeric patterns are patterns that use numbers. So non-numeric patterns were patterns that use anything other than numbers, and usually it's shapes, all right? And numeric patterns are patterns that use numbers. A pattern is a list of numbers, figures, or symbols that follows a rule. A rule is a statement that describes a relationship between numbers or objects. You can find and extend a pattern by following a rule. So a rule is basically how you're getting from one number to the next, okay? Whether you're adding 2 to get to the next number, or subtracting 10, or multiplying by 2, those are rules that to get you from one number to the next. Okay, so that's what we're going to look at. So our two vocabulary words, numeric patterns, which are patterns using numbers, and rule, okay? So let's look at example 1. It says, Carla sells 3 picture frames for $15, 4 picture frames for $20. The pattern for the price of the frames is the same. How much money will Carla make if she sells 6 frames? Okay? So we did cubes. All right, we got a lot of numbers when we do patterns. And it says, identify and describe the pattern by dividing the total cost by the number of frames. Okay? A lot of times, I think it's easier to use like a T-chart, and we'll talk more about that, okay? But let's follow through this example real quick. It says, Carla sells 3 picture frames for $15, 4 picture frames for $20, all right? So 15 divided by 3 is $5. 20 divided by 4 is $5. So 1 picture frame costs $5. So the rule is to multiply the number of frames by $5, okay? Oopsie. All right, so let's look at it. So 1 frame is $5, 2 frames is $10, 3 frames is $15, 4 frames is $20, 5 frames is $25, okay? So you're adding $5 going this way, all right? But if you were going this way, what would you be doing? Timesing by what? 5. Timesing by 5. Very good. So each one you're timesing by 5 because it's $5 for 1 frame. So 6 times 5 is?
30.
$30. So Carla will make 6 frames, which is 6 times 5. She will make $30 if she sells 6 picture frames. So if you use a pattern like this and you know the rule, you can figure out however many, if she sold 10 picture frames, how much money would she make? $50. If she sold 20, $100. Okay, so you can figure out, if you figure out the pattern and you figure out the rule, then you can figure out just about any picture frame, or how much money she made for any amount of picture frames.
5 are easy.
All right, let's look at example 2. It says the chapters in Daniel's book follow a pattern. The even chapters have 12 pages. I'm going to box this in. The even chapters have 12 pages. The odd chapters have 16 pages. The first page number of chapter 1 is 1. Extend the pattern to find the page number of the last page in chapter 6. All right. So this is when I mentioned a T-chart. This is kind of like a T-chart, okay? When you do patterns, it's a lot easier if you put it into kind of like a chart. So chapter 1 These are the chapters. Chapter 1, Chapter 2, Chapter 3, Chapter 4, Chapter 5, Chapter 6. Okay? So, the even chapters are 12 pages, right? The odd chapters are 16. So chapter 1 we know has 16 pages, right? Chapter 2 has 12, so we have to add 12 here. Chapter 3 has 16. Chapter 4 is going to have 12, so we have to do 44 plus 12. What's 44 plus 12? 56. So that'll go here. And then my odd one's 16, so 56 plus 16. I want everyone to figure out what 56 plus 16 is. $72. And then 72 plus 12. 84. So the last page number of Daniel's book is 84. Now a lot of times when we talk about patterns, we know we added 12 to the even chapters, and we know we added 16 to the odd chapters. Looking at these numbers, do you see another pattern maybe in the chart? What do you think?
They're all multiples of 2.
They're all multiples of 2, which means they are all what kind of number?
Even.
Even, okay? So another pattern would be all the chapters and in an even number. So that means all of these are even, which means they are a multiple of 2. Very good. I'll give you a second to catch up with that. All right, good job, guys. All right, so let's look at the guided practice. We are going to identify, describe, and extend each pattern, okay? So, something I want to talk to you about, this is kind of just something over teaching for years and dealing with patterns. Your patterns, the first thing you need to decide with your patterns is if they are increasing, which means they're going up, right? Getting bigger. Or decreasing. And this little tidbit will help you, okay? So the first thing, when you see a pattern, first thing you need to decide, is it increasing? Are the numbers getting bigger? Or is it decreasing? Are the numbers getting smaller? Okay? Once we figure that out, we need to decide. We have addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Which two of these will help your numbers get bigger? Plus and times. And then the other two, subtraction and division, will help it decrease. So that basically, if you decide if your pattern is going up or down, then you can eliminate 2 of them, right? And then you know your rule is either these 2 or these 2, depending if it's going up or down. Okay, so let's look at the first one. We're going 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. So is my pattern increasing or decreasing? Increasing. So that means that we're going to be looking at one of these for the rule, okay? So I can look at times and say, okay, 9 times 1 is 9, 9 times 2 is 18. So that's not going to work, is it? So that means I know my pattern is adding. What am I adding to get from one number to the next number? 3. Now, what's important when you do patterns, and we'll see this the more we do patterns, is you can't just say it's add 3 and go on. You have to make sure you know it's add 3. So let's look. Is 9 plus 3 12?
Yeah. Yes.
Is 12 plus 3 15? Is 15 plus 3 18?
Yeah.
Is 18 plus 3 21?
Yes.
So what's 21 plus 3? 24. And my pattern is add 3. There you go. Is that pretty good? All right. So now this one's a little different because it's going up and down, up and down, up and down, right? All right, so let's look. We go 5 to 6. So what are we adding there? 1. Okay, so it add 1. We'll check that. And then we're subtracting what?
2.
2. Let's try and see if that works. Add 1 is 4 plus 1, 5. Is 5 minus 2, 3.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have to add 1. 3 plus 1 is?
4.
4. And there you go. All right. Does everyone feel good with that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, let's look at number 3 together. So you see patterns in rows like this, but you also see patterns in tables like this, okay? All right, so it says Antonio runs 30 minutes each day. Extend the pattern to find the number of minutes he will run by day 5. Okay? So day 1, he runs 30. So day 2, what's he going to run on day 2?
60.
60. Okay? So when we do tables like this, we need to be looking this way. So 1 times what are we multiplying by?
30.
30. Good job. So 2 times 30 is 60. 3 times 30 is
90.
90. 4 times 30 is
120.
120.
120. And 5 times 30 is
150.
150. So in this case, my rule, and this is just for your information, rule is times 30, and then this is my pattern. Okay? Yes?
Never mind.
Sure? All right. We are going to stop there today.
It didn't stop.
And didn't stop?